Hi, how are
Morning.
you?
I'm good. Welcome in. Do you have a question tonight?
I have a question. So, a little bit of backstory. I
Hold on.
am
Hold on.
a like,
Hold on. 1 second,
oh
Kim.
yeah,
Do you consent to be on a platform and potentially all platforms?
yes, I consent.
Okay.
So, I am plus size, and I feel like it's like it's making me get in my head about dating. I've actually never had a boyfriend. Up until now, I considered myself a lesbian, but I've been trying to date more men. I've always been bisexual, but I just find that women are a lot more accepting, and I've never really felt the same sort of level of like attraction and want as a woman. So I would love any advice that you could give. I'm almost 400 pounds, but I feel like I look cute. I have a really nice shape. People always tell me that they don't think I weigh that much, but I think it's more like mental. I know that men want to enjoy my body, but I've never had anyone really want me for me, I guess. And it's also a little bit difficult to date because I am high earning. I'm a full time content creator. And whenever I meet guys, I usually tell them I'm a teacher, because I am a Hebrew teacher. But, you get those comments like, oh, you're big money, you're this, this, this. And I'm trying to avoid that. I don't even bring them over to my apartment because of that. So I want the truth and any compliments or not compliments, advice you could give me to level up.
So I will say this. There is a group of men in the world who love plus size women, right? I say most African men, most Caribbean men like a full figure woman. I know that for sure. Have you dated men who are African from the continent? Have you dated Caribbean men?
So I live here in Houston, Texas, and I get approached and stopped. Like literally, they will not let me get out of my car, or like they'll be like blocking me in by Africans all the time.
Really?
But I feel like there's a lot of cultural differences. And, a lot of African men, they expect their women to be like a certain way, like, don't do this, don't do that. And I just find that it never works out. Also, I feel like a lot of African guys, they don't have that like quote unquote swag. They're like, oh, there's no girls in my village like you. But I'm like, yeah, I'm not going back to your village. Um, and
No.
then
I
also,
don't mean, and respectfully, I don't mean an African man who's straight from the continent who just arrived here this year.
right,
Maybe someone who's more, they've lived here a bit longer. They've, lived in America a little bit longer. I
right.
would say a good 10 plus years. They're more
Yeah.
like Americanized, I would have to say.
And then I believe the way that I carry myself and even the way that I speak, I prefer black men, but they're always like, oh, you date white guys, don't you? And so I work at a synagogue. So most of the people that I'm around are white, but I prefer to date black. So it's kind of like, people have one perception of me and they tend to put me in a box. But it's kind of hard because I feel like, too quote unquote white, even though I'm fully black for black men. But then for white guys, I tend to get fetishized. So I'm,
So this would be my advice to you, Ken. If I'm keeping it real, I would want you to drop the weight. I would want you to lose weight. I would want, and you said you're 400 pounds, right, Ken?
I'm 365 pounds. And for any women that are looking for plus size clothes, follow me because I post every day.
All right. So I want us to get the weight down. Can we start with 100 pounds? Can we start there?
So I actually lost 130 pounds 2 years ago, and I was getting approached a lot, but I feel like a lot of women go through like body dysmorphia, and people were treating me so differently that I almost didn't know how to handle it. Like it was giving me a lot of anxiety. So I do believe if I dropped the weight, it would be helpful. Even my mother says that. She's like, well, if that's the only thing you think that
Yeah.
is not working for you, change it. But I felt like even when I changed it, I was getting approached by more men, but not like the quality of men that I would want.
And what type of man do you want specifically? How much money does he make? What's his lifestyle like? What is his character? Can you describe that for me?
For sure. Definitely a high earner just because I am. I like, over 100K a year, which is kind of hard. I'm honestly not too big on like finances. I mean, of course I am, but I feel like with men, especially black men, some of them are just not there yet. But I care about education. On my dating apps, when I use them, I always like try to filter out people that have like a graduate degree or above. High earning. I am not too big. I mean, of course, got to be cute in the face, but I'm not against dating someone who's bigger because I am bigger. But really, like, fun, a sense of travel and adventure. I actually went on a 30-day road trip to Alaska. So I don't have a regular job. I want someone that can, you know, be free, kind of like how I am. And my mother told me I should go to Afrotech to like meet some guys because I'm here in Houston. But someone that just has their shit together, I feel like now a lot of women are like, oh, he has to make this and do this. It's honestly kind of hard sometimes just finding a man that has like a solid job, his own apartment, and like a car. So I just want someone who like is a full functioning adult and, can have a conversation. There was a man about 3 months ago who actually.
Before you tell me that, sorry to cut you off, Ken, about that you met 3 months ago, I want you to know, and it's unfortunate that we live in a superficial world, and I'm not saying you don't look beautiful or you don't keep yourself put together, because I think you do, right? But I want you to know we live in a superficial world, and I want you to know exactly what you're asking for exists. However, you have to change who you are to get that guy. So there
Right.
are men who make 100K plus, who are educated, who want to travel, who read books, who can engage in intellectual conversations, right? They do exist. But I think you can open up and change your reality when we change ourselves, right?
Right.
So I want us to work on our weight. I want us to drop the weight. And as you're losing the weight, just so it doesn't feel like, how do you say, like, wow, overwhelming when you're losing the weight, I want you to go to therapy and get you a fitness trainer and listen to affirmations while you're going through the process. Does that make sense? But
Definitely.
but this is only your reality. I'm not saying again you can't attract a quality man, but this is your reality because of who you are right now. That doesn't mean you're not beautiful, but I know if we work on ourselves more, when we lose a bit of weight, it changes our world. It changes the options. Okay? And this goes for all the women watching. All the women. You don't even have to be 300. You could be 150 pounds and go down to 130 pounds, and that'll change your dating options. This goes for all ladies at any weight class. And so you were saying about a guy you met 3 months ago.
Yes. So I met a guy 3 months ago and he was like, you're a good woman. I'm a good man. Like he really wanted to date me. And I was like, okay, this is what I've been wanting, like someone that actually wants a relationship. But he was so boring. Like literally, it was like talking to a wall, like watching paint dry. And I will agree that I probably like slept with him too soon, but it was like, if we are going to be in a relationship, I need to see if it's like good or not. I mean, it was okay, but it's like after we like had, intercourse, that's all he could think about. And
Hold
my
on, Kim. Hold
problem,
on, Kim.
yeah.
Kim, you over here talk about men sexualizing you, but you saying you got to test the eggplant first. Hold up now. So you want demon time too?
Well, no, this was like after a month and he was like pressing me to be in a relationship. I was like, I don't even know if I'm like, I don't know. Like he was, maybe because I hadn't had anyone that wanted to be with me like that before. He was so adamant. He wanted me to be his girlfriend. I was like, wait, this is like too much for me. Also, maybe I wasn't really feeling him like that. But he bought me jewelry for my birthday and like did all the things that I wanted, but he just wasn't for me. So it was
So
a
why wasn't he for you? Was it his looks? What was it that changed after you guys had sex? What changed?
he just wasn't really interesting. I feel like I'm someone that gets bored kind of quickly. And I'm not trying to say like I was just like, oh, I just kicked him to the curb. Ashley, he was so boring. Whenever you sit with someone and y'all have nothing to talk about, like you have nothing in common, or whenever you're really holding the conversation and then you stop and then the conversation just drops. I really want to be with someone where we can actually have a bond, like have a friendship, not just let's do it. And
But wait, Ken, outside of, intimacy, was he taking you on dates? Was he doing things for you? Was he making sure you were okay? Were you guys, trying different hobbies, doing different things? Was he bringing you flowers, cards, and candy? Outside of being boring, did he check those boxes?
Yes.
So he was doing all of the things that most women want from a man, but he was boring. So you cut him off because he was boring. That's what you're telling me, Ken.
I cut him off because I didn't think he was very emotionally available and he was boring. My car got broken into and I was really, really upset because they stole some very sentimental things that you can't just rebuy. He was like, "Oh, don't worry about that. I can just buy them for you." And I was like, "You're not understanding. I'll never be able to get those things back. Like, they meant a lot." And he was like, "Oh, I know how to make you feel better. We can just have sex. You probably need to have sex." And I was like, is the only way you know how to make a woman feel better to have sex or to buy her something? And I told him I needed more like emotional connection. And I gave him like a month to get it together and it never happened. And we didn't have sex until after like a month or so of talking. And I'm not going to lie, he was still boring, but I wanted to see if I could really get with it, and I could not. I do have one question for you. I would like to know if you have any advice about how to feel more confident going out by yourself. Because of my job being a content creator, which I'm sure you can relate to. I mean, I see you going out and stuff, but I tend to feel very isolated sometimes in my apartment. Like, I literally have so many boxes that I need to unpack. And whenever it comes time to go out, I'm feeling like a recluse. Like, I'm normally very extroverted. Everyone in the comments, like, "Oh, she's just a yapper." Like, I'm social, but I've become a lot more withdrawn. And I'm not sure if it's because of my weight or if there's any ways I can just feel more confident. Like, I always try to look cute when I go out, have my hair and stuff done. And I've been having better experiences lately, but it's just a lot.
Yeah, I would say definitely when women start to feel this, in my experience, after speaking to thousands of women on this live and in one-on-one calls, I know for sure when we don't want to go out, it's because of our weight. It's because of the conversations we're having with ourselves, like a self-esteem thing. So once we get this together, right, we start back on our routine, we're working out, and we push ourselves to get out the house, right? You have to make it a habit. Just like you're dedicated to content, you have to be dedicated to getting out the house. So that means once or twice a week, you're going to a bar, you're going to an event, you're going out, you're socializing. So you get more comfortable in those spaces. And after a while, as a content creator, it gets boring. It's always just you. You should want to be around others. You
Right.
should want to like be able to put your phone down and just have a regular conversation that's not about TikTok or not about Instagram. Does
Right.
that make sense?
A
So
hundred.
I want you to work on you, Ken. I know you're beautiful. I know you're confident in who you are, but I want you to continue to improve that, right? So go for your walks, change up your diet, work on you. I think you have a lot of potential. You're a very smart girl. You have a lot going for yourself, but I think you will open up your options 100 times more and get the guy that you think doesn't exist if you drop the weight. I promise you. I promise you, you will.
Thank you so much for all of your advice. I know I actually have a walking pad over here. I'm like, I have this equipment just sitting in my apartment. Let me actually use it. I really appreciate you letting me on your platform, and this was great. So I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Ken. And please come back before January 1st. I'm putting you on my list. I have a list of women. Okay. Everyone has different amount of weight they want to lose before the end of the year or something they're working on. So I want you to check back in the month of December, okay, with an update.
Yes, ma'am. I
All
got
right,
you.
doll. All right, beauty. Have a good one, doll. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Ken, for coming up. Thank you so much. And again, I commend all the ladies who come up and they share their story because it takes a lot of courage to come up here in front of 3,000 people and just pour your heart out, whatever that it takes a lot of courage, okay, with all these comments going. So please come back with an update. We all have room for improvement. But one thing I know for sure, when we work on our weight, it opens up our options. We live in a very superficial world. The man that you think doesn't exist, he does exist. but there's something about you that you have to change. The woman you think that doesn't exist, sir, you need to change. She does exist, but you need to work on you. That goes for both sides, women and men. If you work on you, I'm not saying you'll get Mr. Perfect, but you'll get someone who's close enough. Who is close enough. I will say that. So try it out. All right, let's see who we have up next. Oh, can we get the likes up? Can we get to, I don't know, what, 180,000 likes, 200,000 likes? Yes, press save.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Rose. Welcome up.
Hello.
All right, are you here for advice?
I think two things.
All right, do you consent to be on a live and potentially all platforms?
Yes.
Okay. What tip? Go ahead. You can ask your question.
Okay, the question. I think this is just for probably older women, but I feel like I have a situation where it's a guy who is like really, really good to me, and he does like everything that I would want in a guy to do, but I can't seem to like fall back in love with him. And so I'm debating against like doing the truest act of love and saying, hey, I can't reciprocate like how he feels about me, so I should just let him go? Or should us as women like sacrifice and say, I don't know, like we should just let it like basically learn to fall back in love again, because you could miss out. Do you know?
But
Like,
did he cheat or do something that was unforgivable that took you time to get back? Like, why did you guys fall out of love?
because I carried everything financially, so I kind of took in like a masculine role, and I think it made me like fall out of love because I lost respect. But he's back, and he's like, he's working, he's doing every single thing. But besides that, he's the type that'll run my bath water or like just do anything I ask him to do. And like right now, he's like, what I'm telling him, like, I don't want to be together because I'm looking for certain qualities. And he's like, tell me what it is. I could do it. I could do it. Why you're not giving me the chance? And I'm like, dang, if there's a man that's saying, well, tell me what's wrong, because a lot of guys don't be like, tell me what's wrong, I'll fix it. Should I tell him what's wrong? And
Yeah, why haven't you told him? It sounds like if he wants to come back, not saying you have to press go on it, but if he wants to prove himself again to you and now has a job, he's financially stable, you can always test it out. You can see. You don't have to, you could dip your foot in the water. Okay, dip your foot in the water. But you're a Capricorn. I think we're really good. We have good intuition. I will say that. Okay. So you could dip your foot in the water, but you're a Capricorn, right?
yes,
I know we like stability. Like it's very important for you to be stable. That's like right up there with air for us.
yes.
So you can see,
And it's
if
like
he's
I don't feel the leadership, but he's trying. But it's like if he's trying, and I know I'm not truly in love with him, isn't I'm just like doing him a disservice, because it's like I'm getting the benefits, but I'm not in love. And when I'm not in love and I'm not respecting you, then I don't want to be intimate. I don't want to do all these things. But maybe it could come along if I see he's providing some type of stability. But do I wait for that? I'm 27. So
Oh,
do
you're
I?
young, girl. You're young.
Yeah,
But
no.
is he doing it now though? He's back. Has he started paying the bills and stepping up to the plate?
Kinda, but then sometimes I feel like it's that thing where you tell them and they do it because it's like a manipulative tactic, where it's like he'll do it and then he'll stop
Oh,
and mess up. But it's like,
oh.
I don't know, I'm trying to decide because of my age also that, sometimes I don't know, like we think we have to also settle, where it's like, because the generation now is everybody just everywhere. So should it be like, should I stay because I should just be trying to fight for like a good man, or is it like, I don't know, just go with your heart. You don't feel it, you gotta let it go.
I think sometimes we settle because we don't think we can get better or we won't ever find better. So we're not going to let that go. And that's probably what you're feeling. What if I don't find a guy who rubs my feet, runs to the kitchen, get me a plate of food, and wants to do the little things? So you're holding on to that, although you know that you need help financially and you can't do it by yourself. Like, that's not enough in the long term.
Yeah.
So again, that's up to you to decide. What do you want to do? Do you want to stay and figure it out, or do you want to move on? What do you want to do?
I don't know. I feel like I want to be the person to fight in love and try and give people chances, but then I want to be also to be the person to be like, when you don't feel something, you let it go. You don't. If it's not there, you don't force it, and you don't. You wouldn't want. I wouldn't want nobody to do that to me. I wouldn't want a man to say, "Oh, she's kind of."
I don't know, something. It cut out, you guys. I think she got a call.
Let me fix the camera again. Sorry. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Oh, Rose came back here swinging. Okay. Here swinging. So where did we left off where you said you're not sure, and I told you you have to make a choice. So
My phone died. He did not call me. That's what people said.
okay, your phone died.
Yes, I promise.
We squinting. We like, okay. If he became a millionaire tomorrow, do you think he would still be with you?
Yes.
Okay. All
Yes.
right.
I think he would. I definitely think he would. And I think that like he's the only man that I've ever felt like when I'm around, I'm sure he wouldn't cheat or anything. But it's like, what can I do anyway if I don't have respect for him now? You know what I mean? What can I do now if I don't have respect for him now? And how long should I wait for him to provide me some type of as a teammate? I'm talking about a teammate. I'm not looking for a man to take care of me right now. I'm 27. I think we do got a lot of growing to do. That is like outrageous for me to look for that at this age. But
Outrageous for you to look for what at this age?
a man to fully provide for me. Like
No,
if
it's
he,
not outrageous. That's
at
the
my
perfect
age,
age to
and
look
him at
for
my
it.
age too.
Well, I say older. I don't. It's
Okay.
very rare that you're going to be the man at that age who can do that. So you would have to go older.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
With him
okay.
being the same age as me, I don't think it's crazy for me to think he could provide. And but it's also just like a win-lose situation because I'm definitely a high earner. I have my own app. I have Airbnb properties, and it's just like he's not going to catch up. If so, anytime soon. But I don't want that. I just want a teammate. I just want to say, okay, I'm gonna buy some groceries or I'm gonna pay some money on the rent or something or whatever. But it's
No,
just
you're a Capricorn girl. That's not gonna last. You're gonna be like, so what are you doing? What else are you? That's gonna get old for you. I don't believe that. I think you're gonna be like, why are you starting an Airbnb? Are you working on your? I think it's gonna go that direction.
okay.
Yeah,
I
like
just the
I don't
reason
know.
some people said I had said older women, and I only said older women because I was trying to see if somebody had regrets, like what they experienced, they loved somebody, and they was like, well, he's not like the best. I'm not in love, but he's a good man, so they stayed, and they probably fell back in love. So that's why I only said like older women. It wasn't like to insult nobody or anything. I want to get older. I don't want to get older. It's a
So there
blessing.
was I will tell you a story. I don't really speak much about things, but I was with someone in my mid early 20s and he was a great guy. He did all of the things. He was actually a Capricorn too, just like me. Really great, amazing guy, like you're describing. But he wasn't fully there because he was still building. He was so young. He's 24, 25. So he can't necessarily provide all the things. So we decided to end a relationship not because we were fighting or we didn't get along, but simply because we needed to grow outside of being with each other. And now he's like a multi-millionaire. He's really big in the entertainment industry. He's doing well for himself, and he's reached back out and said things. He's doing his thing. I will say that. So I say all of that to say that sometimes you have to let it go because a man has to be a man and learn to be a man without you in the picture.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
what I'm
can't
starting
mother
to see.
him, you can't mentor him, you can't do that, you can't help him through that process of being a man. So you kind of have to let him go
To grow, and that's what I feel like
yeah.
I'm starting to realize, that men have like a period where they like in a stage where they are growing, and you really shouldn't date them at that stage because it's like their potential stage. And whatever woman is with them usually is not going to be the woman they probably end up with. You're just in that middle stage with them. And I don't want to be in that middle stage where you just don't know what you want to do. I'm like, can you take a certification class? Can you start doing this? And it's just like, it's just not giving like leadership energy. I just want you to say like a plan for something. I just want to hear that, like some type of evolving, some type of growth.
But maybe that's just not in him, Rose. Maybe that's just not. Every man is, every woman, every man is not ambitious. Every man doesn't have that fire or desire in them. So maybe he's just not built like that right now.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what
like
I
that's
think
just
that.
not, that's not in him, is what I'm trying to say.
And that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's something to do with us growing up, because he has both of his parents. They've been married. They live in a house with, and he can live with them. He has a whole knit family and don't have to go nowhere, don't have to do anything. And then I don't have no family. So it's kind of probably like why I'm in like survival mode and making money and hustling. He probably just feels like I don't have to move this fast. I could just figure it out. And so maybe we probably need to just split on that basis where it's like we're not compatible when it comes to our growth aspects.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like, I just think you guys outgrew each other, or you guys just need room. He needs room to be a man. He needs room. And he's a good guy, but you're still not going to be, even if you decide to stay, now you're going to either resent him or keep putting pressure on him. And that's going to cause arguments because he's not there yet or he's not ready.
Okay.
That's what I feel. Even if you decide to stay, it's always going to be something. Even if he does everything, he run the bathwater, rub your feet, it's still not going to be the Airbnb, the go-getting energy kind of thing.
Yeah, right. You're right. You're absolutely right. I can't make that be in him. His self is the running the bathwater and doing those things. But if that's not what is the main quality I'm looking for, I'm not going to get it no matter how much I try. So I have to decide kind of if that's what I really want instead of the bathwater and the other stuff, I guess.
And if this is the thing, if he loves you enough, he's able to go out there. Y'all could leave each other for a year, 2 years, and he'll come back to you 2 years later. I did everything, baby. Like I needed to. I went on 75 hard. I signed up for David Goggins. I've,
Yeah.
went to mentoring programs, and now I'm back, ready to be the man for you. If he
Right.
really wants to be with you, he'll be on that type of time.
That's what I was thinking. Either just time or God. Either God. I'm gonna have to really pray to God, and because I believe if you really try something, you really can't make it work. If y'all both want to make it work, or it's just you got to give it time. No matter how much you try, you can't change it.
Right. So you have to decide. You know what to do, but it's just hard to let it go. That's what I think it
Yeah,
is.
that's what it is. It just
Yeah.
hurts to hurt somebody else because it hurts him. It hurts him, and then it hurts me to hurt somebody else instead of just like moving straight forward.
You have to decide. We can't make that decision, okay? So let us know before the end of the year, before New Year's, come back and let us know, Rose, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, darling. Yeah, you have to give people room to grow, especially men. You have to give men the opportunity to be men. Yeah, I don't say settle in your 20s. I don't think you should. You're young, beautiful, all of the things, put yourself out there.